Hello, 7th grade. Hope everybody is doing well. Today is Thursday, April 23rd. If you came directly onto Google Classroom and you're starting here, what I'd like for you to do is not to start here. I would like for you to go back onto Google Classroom and look for the assignment that says Add and Subtract Integers Quiz. So I'd like for you to do that first. Fill in your answers on there. Now I left you text boxes so that you should be able to fill directly onto the document. I also sent a video with instructions for that too. So if you can go ahead and do that first. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and make sure you submit it and then come on back to the video, and then we're going to do our lesson, and then you have one more other assignment that you're going to be doing. Okay? All right. Okay. Hopefully you submitted that quiz for adding and subtracting of integers. Today's lesson is dealing with applying addition and subtraction of integers. So we're going to be reading some word problems. We're also going to be doing some other problems that have multiple steps here. I'm going to do the best I can to squeeze this in. They didn't give you a whole lot of room, so you may need a piece of scratch paper. Okay, so the lesson that you have on Google Classroom looks a lot like this, except it says D here. That's what you guys are going to be doing on your own. In this lesson here for this video, you and I are going to be doing A and B together. So I know you don't have this paper, and that's okay. Just follow along with me, and then when we're finished, you'll go back on Google Classroom and do the worksheet that says D right here instead. Practice and problem solving D. Write an expression to represent the situation, then solve by finding the value of the expression. Number 1, Owen is fishing from a dock. He starts with the bait 2 feet below the surface of the water. That's important information, 2 feet below. He reels out the bait 19 feet, and we're going to talk about some of these fishing terms because they're important. Then reels it back in 7 feet. What is the final position of the bait relative to the surface of the water? In other words, after he did all that, where he started from, reeling out the bait more, reeling it back in, where did he end up with? Where did he end up with at the end? Like what feet or foot underneath the water surface? Okay. So we need to talk about some of these terms first. When it says 2 feet below the surface of the water, so that's pretty simple. We know that that is going to be below the water, so that automatically is going to tell us that that 2 is going to be a negative. It indicates anything below 0, and the water surface is considered 0. So if he's 2 feet below, I need to start at -2 because that's where he started at. When it says he reels out the bait 19 feet, that means he went even deeper into the water. Reeling in means he's bringing it toward himself, closer to the water surface. Reeling out means it's going deeper into the water surface, okay? So it's going to continue to go deeper under the water surface. So I need to add a -19 because he kept going deeper. After he did that, then he reeled it back in, so now it's getting closer to the water surface. He reeled it back in 7 feet, so I need to add 7 because he's coming back in the positive direction. Okay, I'm going to do my adding of like terms. You guys know how to do it. If I have 2 negatives, all you're going to do is add them and you keep the sign. So this is going to equal -21 because 19 plus 2 is 21 plus 7. Now going back to your rules for adding and subtracting of integers, I have a negative and I'm adding a positive. So these are different. When I say positive, guys, this addition sign goes along with this 7. You may want to rewrite it because you guys are pretty used to using parentheses. You may want to rewrite it like this. I have a feeling that might make better sense to you guys. Okay, both of these signs are different. So what you need to do is subtract and take the sign of the larger digit. So 21 plus 7, negative 21 plus a positive 7, you're really subtracting. You're going to end up with a negative 14. Take the sign of the larger digit. So it says, what is the final position of the bait relative to the surface of the water? In other words, where did they end up after he started and then reeled it out more and then reeled it back in? It's 14 feet below, I don't know if I can squeeze this in, the water surface. Okay. So don't just leave it as, oh, negative 14. Tell me what that means in terms of the water. So it's 14 feet below because it's a negative 14. Okay, Rita earned 45 points on a test. She lost 8 points, earned 53 points, then lost 6 more points. What is Rita's final score? So she started out with 45. And when you earn points, that's in the positive direction. So I'm going to do this as a positive 45. Okay. Then she lost 8 points. So if I'm going to change this, I'm going to change this to a, if she lost 8 points, it's a negative 8. Then she earned 53 points. So if you want, you can write it like that, if that helps you. Then she lost 6 more points. So she kept earning and losing points. Losing 6 points. You got to make sure you set it up correctly. Okay? There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either combine the like terms, like these are both positive, these are both negatives, but let's just go ahead and work from left to right here, okay? So if I have 45, let me see what I'm doing here, 45 minus 8, I'm going to get 37. Now, you guys see what I'm doing? A positive plus a negative, you're going to subtract and take the sign of the larger number. So if I combine these two here, you're going to get, I'm going to see if I can squeeze it down here, 37 plus, and I'm just going to rewrite my other numbers because I didn't do anything with the 53 and the 6 yet. And if you want, you can even put this 37 in a parenthesis with a positive because it is positive. This right here, guys, don't overthink it. All you're doing is adding. So 37 plus 53 is 90, and I'm going to write that over here. 90 plus a negative 6. Okay, if you want, you can go ahead and put a plus, a positive sign, and put the 90 in parentheses if you want. And if I have a positive and a negative, you're going to subtract and take the sign of the larger digit, which is 90. Your answer is going to be 84 points. Okay, let's go down to find the value of each expression. Yes, you can work from left to right if you want, but I'm going to try to make life much easier for myself. I've got negative 7 plus 12 plus 15. Well, I'm going to combine the terms that I can combine that make it really easy. Well, if I have a plus, this positive sign goes with this 12. This positive sign or plus goes with this 15. So those are both considered positive numbers. So I'm just going to add those. I'm not even going to do anything with the 7 yet. I'm going to rewrite the 7 down here. If I add 12 plus 15, I get 27. And it's going to be a positive 27 because both 12 and 15 are positive. Now you guys know how to do this. If I have a negative, and again, if it helps you to put the parentheses around it, go ahead and do that. If I have a negative and I'm adding a positive, I need to subtract and take the sign of the larger digit. My answer here is 20. Number 4, That one's a little tricky because there's a whole bunch of negatives or minuses. -5 minus 9 minus 13. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just do all my change, kind of like what we did yesterday whenever we're subtracting. So let me just concentrate first on this -5 minus 9. From our rules from yesterday, our -5 stayed the same. Nothing changed. Change your subtraction sign to an addition. You're changing the operation. Hopefully you remember this from yesterday's lesson. And the 9 becomes a -9. Okay, so now the next one. Same thing. I'm going to change this to an addition and change my 13 to a negative. Don't get freaked out, guys. These are all negatives. So all you're doing is adding the negatives, and the answer is negative. So your answer here is going to be -27. Okay. Number 5, 40 minus 30 plus 11. Okay, let's look at that first part here. And again, you can throw those parentheses around any of the numbers that you want to. 40. I'm going to change my operation to an addition and change that 33 to a subtract or a negative plus 11. Hopefully I didn't throw you off here. Change. 40 plus a -33 is a oh no, I'm sorry, it's 7. It's a +7 because 40 is positive, 33 is negative, plus 11 for a total of 18. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video, okay? You guys are going to need to know how to do this for your lesson that's going to be on Google Classroom today. And that is going to go into the grades on RenWeb, so you guys got to make sure that you're, getting the content, okay? 57 plus 63 minus 10. These two numbers right off the bat, they're positive. I don't see any negatives by the 57 or the 63. So I'm just going to add those two numbers first. So 57 plus 63 is 120 minus 10 because I didn't do anything with the 10. And all you're going to do is simply subtract. It's 110. I'm sorry, I just gave you the answer. It's 120 minus 10 equals 110. Okay, now we're getting into numbers that are quite a bit bigger here. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Couple of different things. Now, you don't have to solve it the way I'm solving it, as long as you end up with the right answer at the end, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and I want to add what I can add here. 25 is positive, 65 is positive. Well, this 17 is, this negative goes with that one, this negative goes with that one. Well, let me go ahead and solve this part first. So if I have 25 plus 65, I get 90. Then and that's a positive 90, so I'm going to just put a plus sign in front of it. Nothing changed with this -17 and this -21, so I'm just going to rewrite those down below. I'm kind of working backwards, okay? You could have also combined these two first if you wanted to. That's actually what I'm going to do now. Remember, my -21, nothing changes. My subtraction changes to an addition operation. My 17 changes to a -17, and the 90 stays the same. Don't forget, you got to bring that 90 down. Both have like signs, so all you're going to do is add those. 21 plus 17 is 38 plus 90. Oh, that's a -38. Oh, got to make sure because this is a negative and this is the negative. And your answer should be 52. Number 8. Well, I've got a positive 12 here, a positive 19 here, a positive 5 here. So I'm just going to work in order from left to right. 12 plus 19 is 31 plus 5 minus 2. Notice how I'm bringing everything straight down, okay? If I didn't touch the positive 5, I didn't touch the negative 2, so I got to bring it straight down. This is simple addition, guys. 31 plus 5 is 36. Minus 2 is 34. Okay, comparing the expression, I need to figure out greater than or less than using these inequality signs, which I kind of wrote over. So I need to figure out this side of the equation and then that side of the equation. So let's see how we can do this. Gosh, they sure did not give me enough room here. I'm going to take that negative 15, I'm going to put it in parentheses, and I need to add 3 minus 7. Okay, let's concentrate on this part right here. If I have negative 15 and I'm adding 3 to it, you're going to get a negative 12. I don't know where to put that. I guess I'll put it over here. Negative 12 minus 7. Now this is where we come into that change. Change this to an addition. Change the 7 to a negative. Add those two up. This side of the equation is going to equal negative 19. Now let's look at this side of the equation. Negative 9, there's my change, minus 1 plus 16. If I have a negative 1 and I'm adding a positive 1, I'm going to get a negative 10 plus 16. These are both different signs, so I need to subtract and take the sign of the larger digit, so this side is going to equal 6. So way over here I'm comparing negative 19 to 6. Remember, this is a negative. Even though that 19 is typically bigger excuse me, than 6, because it's a negative, it is smaller. So this equation is less than that equation. Number 10, same idea here. And guys, don't overthink it, okay? Just look at this right here, 31 minus 4. You guys can do that. 31 minus 4 is 27. Plus 6, bring that straight down here. Add those together, you should get 33. Okay, this one's a little trickier here. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. Negative 17 plus 22 minus 5. Look at these two numbers here. I have a negative and a positive, so I need to subtract and take the sign of the larger digit. 22 minus 17 is 5, and it's going to be a positive 5 because 22 is larger than 17. Minus 5, don't forget you got to bring that other 5 down, is 0. So now I'm comparing 33 and 0. This equation is larger. Number 11. Anna and Maya are competing in a dance tournament where dance moves are worth a certain number of points. If a dance move is done correctly, the dancer earns points. If the dance move is done incorrectly, the dancer loses points. Anna currently has 225 points. Before her dance routine ends, Anna earns 75 points and loses 30 points. So they want me to write an expression and find the final score, similar to what we did up here with the word problems. So going back here, you got to go back and read them carefully. Currently, she has 225 points. She earns 75 and then she loses 30. So my equation, I'm going to try to give myself enough room because I have to be able to solve it. She started with 225 points. She earned 75 more points, and then she lost 30 points. Okay, looking at just these two digits, I'm just going to go ahead and add those up because they are both positive or both addition. So 225 plus 75 is 300. And don't forget, then she lost 30 points. Again, don't overthink it, guys. Basic subtraction. If you wanted to go through the change, you could do that. But this is simple subtraction. That's it. So 270 points. B, Maya's final score is 298. Which dancer has the greater final score? So I'm comparing Maya's score to Anna's score up here. So Maya has the greater score, and I'd like you to prove that, to validate that. And that's because 298 is greater than 270. Okay? Okay. Obviously, you guys don't have this paper, so there's nothing to turn in as far as this goes. You're going to go onto Google Classroom. You're going to see something that says Lesson 1.4, Applying Addition Subtraction, and it's going to say Practice Problem, and it should say D. I'm pretty sure I added this to the top. If not, it's whatever, lesson is here for the day. Okay, so remember you had two things today. You had the quiz that you needed to do, and that wasn't too much. It was pretty short. And then you have this paper to do on Google Classroom. Again, I put text boxes on the document, so you guys should be able to type directly on there, okay? That way you can just submit it right there and then, and I can grade it, and it's all saved digitally, okay? All right, I hope everybody is going to do well this weekend. Remember, tomorrow is Friday, so we don't have, that's your catch-up day, so you don't have any assigned work. So make sure that you're, if you have other things that are due for me, your progress reports are next week. So I need to get all my grades finalized. So make sure if you have any late work that you need to try to get that in as quickly as you can, okay? So this weekend might be a good time to do that with that extra day for Friday. Okay, guys, blessings to all and have a good weekend. Sacred Heart of Jesus, pray for us.